It's 12 o'clock straight up on July 5th, 2022. I just got back to my desk and I was working on copying comments from this morning's Windows Daily video into my Microsoft Word document. And I came across a problem that I'm having right now with a big beast build. And I didn't know I was even having this problem. So I took this comment from Paul Fred Field and pasted it into my Microsoft Word file, and this comment from demeanor. So I'm going to right click on the Microsoft Word icon down here and open up my chat comments file just to show that it does successfully open up. Come all the way down here to the bottom and you see that here's those two comments. Now, as I was looking at demeanor's comment, I wanted to go look at my initialization checklist and see what notes I have in there about it. So I right click on the Microsoft Word icon down here in the taskbar and then try to launch my new computer setup lab work file. Now these ones up here are pinned to this list, so they always stay on this list. This portion of the list shows recent files that I've opened. So I'll come and click on this, and what we'll see is it fails to open. And here's Microsoft Word trying to launch, and come down here and I see the only thing open is this one for the chat comments. The file that I was asking for failed to open. Now, if I try to open it when no other documents are open, Microsoft Word doesn't even stay open. So there's the problem that I have. That file will not open. I suspect the reason for it is the crashes that I had yesterday. That file very likely was open during one of those crashes and it got damaged. So I'm going to go show a couple of methods to approach this. I don't know what the solution is for this yet. I'm going to go look at that. Now I need to blur this screen when I show this because it does have some confidential stuff on screen. And in Microsoft Word, I've gone to File, Open. Here's the chat comments, which that does work. And then here's the new computer setup. Checklist. These others have some client names on them, so that's why I wanted to have this blurred out. But I'm going to right click on this file name that's having the trouble and open the file location. So that's going to open up a file dialog window for opening that. And I'm going to click, let's see, let me conceal this a little bit. See if I can conceal enough to unblur that. Yes, I can. Okay, so here's those files in my checklists folder. And what I'm interested in is the new computer setup lab work. Oh, and I see there's actually two of them there. I didn't even realize that. I'm going to go to the parent file. Let's blur that again. And then right click on checklist. Actually, this is okay to unblur here. So I right click on checklist. And what I want to do is open that in a new window. That option isn't even available anymore. That's interesting. I was so sure that that was available. Okay, so let's go to details. Try it from there. Can I open in a new? No, I can't. All right. So I'll go back into checklist, and then I'm going to take the new computer setup lab work. I cannot explore it from here. I'm interrupting the video that you're watching because I see the solution for that issue about not being able to open a new window when I right click on that folder name. And I'm the older, wiser Doug. It's 12:38 p.m. now, so it's like 40 minutes after I recorded that. So I know better. And it occurred to me while editing the video that the reason is because that was a OneDrive folder. If I maneuver to a locally stored folder that does not involve OneDrive, I can right click on the folder name. Well, here, I guess I should show you, right? I'll punch over here to Microsoft Word. And if I go browse through my computer, let's see, got to click on browse to do that. And here's an SW setup folder. It is not part of OneDrive. If I right click on any folder in here, I do get open a new window, right click, and that'll open it in File Explorer. I guess I wasn't aware or didn't have it in my short-term memory that you can't do that on OneDrive folder. So that's the answer to that. I am returning you to the previously recorded video in progress. Yeah, whatever. So what I'll do here is I'll click on the address bar up here, Control C to copy that, then Windows key R and Control V. So I'm pasting that location onto the run open line. And that should get me, that gets me in, because this is OneDrive, that gets me into the web version of OneDrive. And that's okay. I can deal with it there. But I'd rather deal with it from File Explorer. So I'm going to open File Explorer here and bring that over to this monitor number 1 and then maneuver to that folder. So it's in OneDrive Personal, and then expand that and go to my checklists is in service logs, I believe, and then checklists. Nope. Try that again. Resource files, checklist. There's checklists. And I'll double click on that and then go to new computer, setup. Here's these two. So this one that has a parenthesis 1, that was last saved in 2020. So I don't need that anymore. I'm going to just delete it to remove it from the mix. And then this one is the one that's failing to open. So I'm going to try that again from here. I can unblur this list. This is all my checklists. I'll double click on that and see if it will open. Word can't do this because dialog box is open. Yeah, that's that file open dialog box. I'm going to double click on the file from here and see if it'll open. I suspect that it won't. And it just bounced me right back, and it actually closed Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word's no longer open. I'm going to right click on this document and look at versions. Now, here's version history. I have not yet even so much as restarted the computer. That might be adequate, but I think that particular file is actually damaged, so I don't think that would solve it. So I'll do version history, and I have a version from June 21st is the last save. Now, when I look over here, that shows June 21st. 4:48 p.m. So it looks like that's the one that got damaged. My options here are to open that. I'll go ahead and try opening that. I don't think it'll work. Looking down here, we tried to open it. Microsoft Word has not opened. So now I'm going to go try this one, the next older one. I can restore it. Now this would mean that any changes between those two, I will have lost. Here, this one shows 6 seconds ago, so I think that would have been, if the file, that would have been the one that is, now this is the one that was damaged, right? So this should be the new one. So try opening that. Open. Could not start last time. Okay, Word failed to start last time. Start in safe mode, yes. It's open in safe mode. I don't really want to use it from here, so I'm just going to close it. That should let it recover from safe mode. I'm going to try opening this document again and see if I get it opened correctly. No. Okay, let's go open this one. This is the one that I restored. So this has not yet worked. I was pretty confident that restoring was going to work. So this is 23.6. That's the 23.6. So this is the June 15th version. Try opening it. Couldn't start last time. Start in safe mode. I'm going to answer no this time. That should start in normal mode and try to open that document. Still failed. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording now, restart the computer, try it again after the restart, and see if that is actually the right solution for this. Just completed restarting the computer, and I have not tried opening Microsoft Word yet. I'm going to blur the screen here because there might be client names that show up here. Yes, there is. And then click on my new computer setup lab work document and see if it opens. Word couldn't start last time. Safe mode could help you troubleshoot. So I'm going to answer yes to that. There we got safe mode. I'm going to close that, blur the screen again, right click on the Microsoft Word document on the taskbar, and then try to launch that document again. See if it works. I didn't expect this to be the solution, so I don't think it's going to work. No, Microsoft Word failed to launch. So I've tried restoring the document. I could go back to even earlier date because I'm thinking that it feels like it ought to be a problem with that document. So I'm going to open Windows Explorer. I've got Word right now until I get to that location. Resource files and my checklists folder. You can just see what else is visible here. None of those are privacy concerns. So here is the folder. I'm going to make this wider, and it was new computer setup lab work document. So it's already downloaded to this computer from a OneDrive, and then I'll go take a look at version history and go to an even older version. So we did June 15th. There's several versions that day. It looks like 10:35 a.m. Then another one 10:35 a.m. It's a little bit larger. This one 8:49 a.m. and then 8:37 a.m. I'm going to take that one 8:37 a.m. because it's the first one of that day. Restore it. And then take a look at it in this list, new computer, setup lab work. It shows today's date in the current time because it was just restored. Now I'll try double click on it. There's that safe mode prompt again. I'm going to say no. So it just goes into normal mode. And Microsoft Word fails again. I'm going to go take a look at some other documents that are in my checklist folder and try answering no again. That opens fine. Come back here. Let's do, we'll take video errata. That opened fine. It did not prompt me about the safe mode. So it looks like it's gotten over that. Windows 10 upgrade checklist, that works. So I'm thinking the only one I'm having trouble with is this new computer setup lab work, even when I restore an older version of it. Now that is very interesting. It clearly, obviously, those other older versions could not be damaged because I was using them back then and revising them and saving them. That's why we have the sequence of date and timestamps. View online version history. View online is going to take me to my OneDrive folder. That one's 24 kilobytes. So that was the first one on June 15, 24 kilobytes. How far back could I go? How could it have damaged all of these going way back? So here's March 16th, the last one on March 16th, 12:50 p.m. It's a significantly different size. So this is going to show up as 23 kilobytes. All right, it's 1 kilobyte different. And restore. Expecting to see this change. Couldn't load versions. Interesting. But it did go to the 23 kilobyte size. Okay. Try to launch it. What could there be about that document that is failing all the way back? Now, I do have backups with Magnusbox, so that's a location that I can go, and I can do different date restorations with that. This is really interesting. What happens if I do this version history, come down here to an old one. Let's see, that was March 16th, right? So I'll go to the first one of March 16th, and this time just download it and see what I get. This takes me to the OneDrive site, it looks like. Try opening there, not safe mode. There's the checklist. So that worked. Now, how about can I go to a more recent version and do that download option? So how about if I come up here to, let's see, June 21st. Let's take that one, the latest one on June 21st, and download it. That'll take me to the OneDrive location. Yes, it does open. This is interesting. It'll open from the online version, but not any version on the computer. So there's a 24 kilobytes. This, and down here is 24.2 from June 15th. I think this is probably the most recent. I'll try downloading that and see if that opens. So is the problem only happening when I'm, yeah, it's only happening when I'm trying to load it from the local drive. Interesting. All right, so what to do with that? Well, on one hand, I'm interested in deleting it from here and trying to restore it. I could rename it from here. If I delete it from here, does that delete it from the OneDrive site? So let me do it this way. I'll do View Online. That takes me to here, to OneDrive, and actually opened it from online. It's not really what I wanted to do. I wanted to view it in the online folder. View online, always keep up. Share with, open. No. Version history, always keep on this device. What is going on? Let's try version history again. The one that's there now says 23 kilobytes. On one hand, I'd like to delete it from here, but I don't know if these choices will still be accessible to me. There's 5 minutes ago. If I restore that, it's trying to restore that to my C drive. And we saw that refresh arrow. Things moved around a little bit. New computer setup lab work right there. Double click to open. Fails to open. Let's try opening Microsoft Word and do File Open from inside Word. Here's new computer setup, but rather than doing it from there, I'm gonna go browse the folder. Let's do browse here. Take the long way about maneuvering to it. Resource files and then checklists and then new computer setup lab work. Can't imagine that it would work from there. Indeed, it does not. All right, take another run at it. I've got the right file there. Let's do version history, the 24 kilobyte file, and download. And what about Seymour? No. We've got these parentheses in here. Let's take this one, open file. That's an older revision date, so I don't want that one. Here we get show in folder. That's showing in folder on my computer, not online. Let's try this one. That has a recent revision date. So then I'm going to do a save as, and I have this save as icon. Saving is disabled in protected view. If you trust the source of this file would like to save, enable saving. Okay, I'll do that. What I want to do here is do a fresh save of it with the name and the location that I want it to be. So go to Resource Files, Checklists, and New Computer Setup Lab Work using that name. So I'm going to try to overwrite that name with this file. Save, replace existing file, OK. Then close. Close. Now I'm back here, and this shows save time as right now. Double click, and there it is. That was a weird experience. I'm not going to try to explain it now. If you got some ideas about why that went that way or what I could have done differently in recovering it, perhaps there's a repair document feature somewhere. That is completely close enough for my purposes for that checklist. I know that I have not revised it recently, so that date that was on there in June, I'm sure is the most recent content that I had on it. That was June 16th, so I'm going to go with that. That was an interesting exercise, live, real-time, problem discovered and troubleshot or repaired, whichever verbiage you want to use for that. I don't think it was the most accurate, graceful solution, but it is the solution that worked by just hammering away at it. I never did do a Google search on it. So if you got other comments, thoughts, experiences similar, now let me tell you this though. If you're going to respond with the answer, OneDrive is lousy, I don't use it, so I never have those problems. I'll tell you what, OneDrive is very, very useful and valuable to me. I wouldn't give it up for anything as far as this level of trouble. If you're going to take that approach in responding to this, then I would put to you that the way to never have trouble with a computer whatsoever is to never use a computer, okay? Saying that you're not going to use something just because it comes up with a problem once in a while, there is no software and no hardware that never fails. It all fails sometime. You might not be experiencing the troubles because you're not exercising the computer very thoroughly, or you just got lucky. All right. I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.